one amazing series of YA novels, an insatiable thirst to relive the glory that is K.A. Applegate's literary masterpiece. This is Phantomorphs, the Dork Bajir Chronicles. Number 6, The Capture.
Hello, and welcome to the Dork Bajir Chronicles, a Phantomorphs podcast where we read through the Animorphs series, one book at a time, then talk about it every week. Today we'll be talking about Animorphs number 6, The Capture. My name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
And I'm Braden, a roiling, boiling cesspool of half-made flesh.
Oh, so not even born yet.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
He's the pre-baby of the podcast.
Pre-baby, I like that. As a pre-baby, I hope you can make it through the recap.
Yes. We made notes this time. Don't worry,
Yes.
guys.
I won't have to interrupt him to get the plot right.
You never had to at all.
For my own personal integrity,
can you hand me the charger?
as a Phantomorph, I did have to.
All right, so we open up the book with Jake home alone. Tom, the Yerky boy in his life, has gone off to a meeting of the sharing, and his parents are out playing tennis. So Jake is experimenting around with turning into a roach because they believe that they can infiltrate. Well, Jake believes, that he can use a roach morph to infiltrate the Sharing's headquarters and learn what their next plan is. But he gets caught in a roach hotel, and then he hears people coming home, so he's freaked out. But then he just slowly morphs back and just pushes the fridge out bit by bit. And then his mom finds him naked behind the fridge. And
Not naked. He was wearing his tight t-shirt and his tight little boy shorts.
okay, you know what? That's probably even worse.
Even worse. And he's got a roach motel on his head. So.
Anyway, they find out at the base of the sharing that the Yeerks are planning on making a hospital. Not making a hospital, infiltrating a hospital. And yerking up patients who come in a mini yerk pool. They find out also that the governor is planning on coming to the hospital to get some surgery done, and they're gonna yerk the governor, which wouldn't be great because he might become presidente.
They sort of just quickly mention that he might be president.
Yeah,
to up the
yeah,
stakes.
pretty much.
Yeah.
So, shit. Obama might be a yerk.
Well, I feel like they also do that so that the resident alien boy on the team, Axeman, will understand what's at stake here in terms of human politics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, they go and they get to the hospital. They fight their way in and they find a yerk jacuzzi. And Jake suddenly is an expert electrician and hooks up all the wires properly to cook these yerks. But during the fight with some controllers that find them, he is shot in the head. Applegate plays coy with how serious this wound is, but it's a shot in the head.
Yeah.
And he falls face first into this yerk pool. Really convenient, Applegate.
Yeah.
Real fucking convenient. And this is about
can I
already 70% of the way through this book already.
Totally.
I will interrupt a bit and say that it's described as the boiling, writhing mass of brown sludge that is the little tiny yerk pool, and that's because Jake did his electronics to completely boil the yerks.
Yeah.
10,000%. But just how cold-bloodedly he murders however 1,000 slugs are in this pool.
I mean,
it's what is this? An episode of Riverdale?
I mean,
he can't just up the temperature of a jacuzzi tub willy-nilly.
Yeah, you'd think that they would have a limit for murder. even like because it's so
I mean,
easy, right?
They're just looking at them as slugs right now. Like, we don't really get any humanization of the Yeerks
We haven't
until
heard the Yeerk
now.
perspective.
Spoiler alert, because Jake got yeerked.
Boom, boom, boom,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's
And
called the
guess
capture
what?
for a reason.
Yeah, because they capture Jake. But also, Jake captures the Yeerk.
Oh my god.
Because, like, they realize really quickly, because Axe surprises Jake, and, well, yeerked Jake Controller, and Jake Controller is like, filthy Andalite! I mean, don't jump it out at me, Axe. Let's play some basketball.
play-
Shit, they caught me.
Basketball. I am Jake, teenage boy. Let's play basketball.
Yeah.
Individually.
So they decide really quickly to just, like, keep Jake in a shed for 3 days and
Yeah.
just, like, swap out Axe for Jake for 2 hours at a time. And it's like, oh, so, like, there's no issue. But then the controller uses Jake's transforming abilities to escape.
Oh my god!
And then is immediately captured again, and it doesn't
Because
even
the
ma- like,
Animorphs planned for this.
Yeah.
And pretended that
Yeah.
they did in front of the Yeerk, who underestimated human ingenuity and brutality. Even though, the crazy coincidence of this book. I mean, there's a lot of crazy coincidental things that happen in Animorphs, but this one is kind of over the top because there's literally thousands of Yeerks in this jacuzzi pool, and the one that used to
right,
be
yeah.
in Tom's head goes into Jake's head.
Yeah.
That was the one Yeerk that they had planned for the governor.
I mean, to be fair, they did say that Tom was the one that organized the hospital thing, so like sort of makes sense.
I mean, it was Tom's Yeerk that organized the hospital thing, who had been getting buddy-buddy with Visser 3, but, what, were they really expecting the governor that soon? That he would be the one to be, as a Yeerk form, be like, oh, here's my ear, let's hitch a ride.
Well, let's finish up because we're so close.
We're
We'll
so close,
definitely
yeah.
get into this. Yeah.
So the rest of the book is just dedicated to, like, starving out this Yeerk, and then right at the end, like, the Yeerk is like a total dick and is like, "Ew, we will conquer you," and Jake's all like, "No, you won't, dick.
This is America, dick.
This is America, dick. We're
We
just
got,
gonna
like-
starve you out in Guantanamo. I mean my head. Oops."
We believe in freedom so hard, I'm gonna freedom you out of my brain.
But yeah, in the Yeerk's final moments, he's like, the fugue state. And Jake's like, what's a fugue state? And he suddenly experiences the Yeerk's life flashes before its eyes, which at the moment are Jake's eyes. And he sees, like, this little Yeerk, like, getting put into, like, a Yeerk homeworld, like, monkey, essentially, called, like, a Gundar.
No, they're called a Ged.
A Ged, and then getting put into a
Not at all the
Hork
same
Bajir,
word at all.
and then getting put into Tom, and he also gets the Ged's memories, and the Hork Bajir's memories,
Yeah.
and Tom's memories, but, like, not fully. And then the Yeerk dies, and I am 100% certain, like, guys, Jake goes to hell.
Yeah, I like this theory of Jake goes to hell.
Yes, holy shit. What other explanation is there? Like, he goes to some sort of Yeerk hell. He sees upon a black obsidian throne a single-eyed cyclopean beast with no arms, and it looks at him, and then he wakes up, and the Yeerk's dead. And he doesn't explain, like, that was actually the super Yeerk leader, like, Visser 1's super crazy body. Like, there was no context. He just says, I saw an evil fucking eye, and I didn't know what the fuck it was. And then I woke up, and, like, Jake went to hell, guys. That's the only explanation right now.
To be fair, like, it's the first time that I think, Applegate actually purposefully plants something that's like, hey, this is cool, and she doesn't explain it, and maybe we can talk about it, and not like by accident. like she does with a lot of shit.
This is a purposeful, this was a purposeful plan.
It's a foreshadow for real, yeah.
I will go out of my way, though, to call Brayden out for not remembering literally the last book where we met Visser One, who had a human host body.
You know what?
Come on, dude.
You know what I mean, like an in-charge guy. Or Visser One could have had a freaky red-eyed hell body before.
When I was a kid, I always pictured this creature as being one of the bad guys from Zelda Ocarina of Time, one of those machines with the lasers. Because it's just the one eye that rolls around, and like that's just creepy.
Because I don't want to go down this road, but guys, like I've been thinking about this thing, and like I feel like I remember it.
Oh my god!
Like I've seen this thing in my nightmares. Or something like I'm thinking about like giant red eye on an armless torso sitting on like a giant throne, and I'm like, have I read about this also or something similar to it somewhere else, or like did I have just similar night? I feel like I'm remembering it.
Confirmed. Brayden is a controller.
You know what? Okay, to calm you down, you guys, I'll tell you the truth. It was an angel.
Oh my god.
It watches over you while you sleep.
Dude, is that what your weird Windex drinking religion believes?
It was an angel, Brayden. You must pray to the angel.
I'll be honest, I don't remember this. I know that I read all the books, but
Nice.
I can't remember. The only thing in my mind that's like, it's telling me that like,
Use code words so that Brayden doesn't know what we're talking about.
well, I seem to remember that Visser 1 isn't the top boss.
No, that is correct.
Okay, I won't say any more then.
But nothing else has been revealed, right? Like, I can't remember if book 5...
I didn't imagine that Visser 1 wasn't... I didn't think the top fucking dog would have just, like... would just have slummed it on Earth and, like, made out with some humans.
Oh, no, man. Visser, when we get Visser 1's backstory, legit, one of my favorite bad guys is Visser 1, and also Visser 3, and I love their dynamic, which we saw a bit of 2 weeks ago episode when we talked about book 5.
Where does Visser 2 sit? Is Visser 2 just some fucking cuck? Sitting back?
Visser 2 comes in, like, a book I only read twice in the series. That's, like, right close to the end when you're like, oh yeah, this guy is a guy who exists.
Have you been capturing Earth? Can I join you? No, Visser 2. We're rivals. Visser 1 and Visser 3. You can't get in on this.
Can't get in on this, Visser 2. Go find, like, Visser 4 or something and make fun of him.
Okay, I'm sorry. You fucking dick.
Can we talk about for a minute how brilliant the hospital plan is by the Yeerks?
Well,
it's a pretty good plan.
It's a lot better than the sharing. It's a lot better than like getting vice principals to be controlled. It's they're not recruiting important people at all.
No, what they want is just mass infestation. So it's brilliant that they have this plan. And then after the Animorphs fuck it up once, do they ever go back?
After they kill one pool, it's like, oh damn it. I guess this will never work again. Well,
beans.
I don't know. Did they? Like, is the government... We don't really go back. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do they? Like, we never go back and, like, confirm that... Fuck, Visser 3 could have just gone into the guy. Visser 3 could have just DNA copied the governor.
Actually, that's a... shit!
Dun.
We didn't talk about the fact that, at the beginning, they when they infiltrate the hospital... to do the reconnaissance, Visser 3 comes in a human morph, and Applegate doesn't describe it at all.
No. Okay, I'll tell you.
Probably white though, right?
This is who This is who I think of.
I think of Vin Diesel. Like, Visser 3 just like took the opportunity to like touch somebody famous. Like, Visser 3 is gorged on the human TV and like, bring me the drugged body of Vin Diesel.
His favorite movie is The Crow. No, who I always pictured was, I'm realizing now, thinking about it, it's a man who looks very similar to the guy who played the 9th Doctor in Doctor Who. So he's got like a hook nose, kind of bald leather jacket, but more evil in the eyes. And instead of a leather jacket, a suit.
That's so specific. No one's gonna know what that is.
They
People
won't know
who listen
Doctor
to this
Who.
podcast will know Doctor Who. Excuse you, Mikhail. We are for a very niche market, and that niche market is total dorks. So yeah, so like this
Christopher
guy,
Eccleston.
Christopher Eccleston, but like more evil and like
God.
in a like well dressed in a suit instead of the leather jacket.
I think he would look. I think he would look more like a really like dignified and dashing like businessman type guy. But when you look him in the eyes, he's got that look of that guy that like raised all those AIDS drug prices. Do you remember that guy?
Oh yeah, that
Martin
fucking
Shkreli.
guy.
Yeah,
That guy's
and-
fucking entertaining.
What if
But
it's
he's
like,
crazy though, right?
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
he's insane.
He totally kicked the shit out of Ghostface Killer, though.
Really?
Not physically. I just like Ghostface Killer is a motherfucker who has thrown around death threats. Motherfucking rap beefs like nobody's business. And I'm not saying Martin Shkreli did good at like dropping a diss on Ghostface Killer. I'm just saying Ghostface Killer dropped the ball so hard, Shkreli took it. It was ridiculous, but not many people can say they've dissed out Ghostface Killer and lived.
Wait, what did he say about Ghostface Killer?
Oh, well, Martin Shkreli actually bought that Wu-Tang album.
Okay,
The $1 million Wu-Tang album that they were auctioning off.
Oh, okay.
And
the
he
one
got
where
to, yeah.
Ghostface Killer raps on it.
Well, Ghostface Killer is in Wu-Tang.
I know. I'm just enjoying how many times we've said the 3 or 8 syllables of Ghostface Killer.
I mean,
Ghostface Killer.
you can't, GFK? No, that's terrible.
Okay.
Anyways. Yeah, he, Ghostface Killer, doesn't like Shkreli, and after selling him the CD, proceeded to diss him out on Twitter.
Thing.
Ghostface Twitter. And then
clever.
Martin Shkreli got some, like, tough-looking guys in masks to, like, back him up. And he was like, shut the fuck up, Ghostface, you're my bitch. I bought you. And, like, shit like that. And then Ghostface just, like, posted a video on Snapchat or whatever that was just like, in 13 hours, I'll break your heart. And then he just, like, dropped this commercial for his fucking weed dispensary and gets his, like, mom, grandma, and, like, stepmom or something to, like, ooh, Martin Shkreli, our boy's doing good stuff in the medical department and you're selling AIDS medicine too high. And it was just like, oh shit, Martin Shkreli won. Fuck.
That story was really quite a roller coaster. I would even call it a Ghostface thriller. Yeah.
Woo!
Clap.
I was thinking of that the whole
Clap,
time.
you
Oh
fucking
my
monkeys.
god! Whereas, you know, like, I didn't really understand the story. It was more like a difficult gold-faced pill to swallow. Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
as good. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at, like, is Axe depressed?
Okay, you
What
know-
does that look like? Does Axe get depressed?
Tessa, that pun made me want to Ghostface Killer myself.
See, that's not bad. Like, you tried, you know?
Yeah. What?
Oh.
I tried to kill myself?
Don't make me laugh too hard. I've got soda here. I don't want a ghost face spilla.
That was better. That was good. I like that.
Thank you.
I can't think of any more, so let's just keep going.
If he ever branched out into dubstep, he could call himself Ghostface Skrillex.
And cut.
B-roll on
Take?
that
Can
one.
I get a take two? No.
If he started a dairy farm, he could be Ghostface Milka.
Oh, what? Wait. If he started an ice cream store, the best flavor could be Ghostface Vanilla? No, that was a stretch.
If
too.
if he worked for the tax man, then he'd be Ghostface Bilya. Say what you want. At least I'm consistently bad.
What if he was actually from the Philippines? Or should I say, the city of Ghostface Manila? No. Okay, we're losing the plot entirely here.
Lust. Does Axe ever get depressed? What does this look like?
Because at one point,
you know
he
what?
actually says, like, it says that he responds grumpily when someone, like, corrects him. Because he says, like, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, Axe, you idiot. That's not right. And he's like, fuck you. I know.
Book
I don't
8.
think
I'm
he
not going to
does.
say anything because I want to talk about
Yeah.
this in book 8 because that's the first book from his point of view. And we get to
All
learn
right.
more about Andalite
You know what?
culture.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe there are fucking emotions that he feels that humans don't, and there's some that he doesn't. Like, he seems pretty gung-ho to go and fucking die, so he obviously has no sense of caution.
He never once says, like, okay, guys, I'm done trying to go home. I'm going to help you now. It just kind of, like, from one book to the next, it's like, we've completely forgotten about Axe trying to get home. Fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much. I think one book to the next, it's like we've pretty much forgotten that Axe was never here.
Yeah, like how did we function before Aximili, right?
Especially because he's
Brought
the
so
he's the
much
stopwatch.
to the group. Okay, I love Axe. I can't be sarcastic about him. He's a beautiful, smart alien child.
Oh, okay.
I love him.
When was... I was, what page did I say it was on? Like,
It was like page 10.
36.
Page 36.
That was when I read a Prince Jake, don't call me Prince Jake, sorry Prince Jake joke. And I was like, oh, this is the last one. This is where it stops being funny.
Yep.
I wonder how many more there are going to be after this.
Oh, there's so many. One
40
a
more
book,
books.
at least. At least one a book. I
Oh,
guarantee
one a
you.
book. It'll be one a book, and then just wait. It'll talk about how Axe will say, "Oh, watch out! We only have 116 of your minutes left," and Markle will say, "They're everyone's minutes."
Yep.
That becomes about one a book as well.
All minutes
Yep.
matter.
Actually, it's funny because on page 37 is where Jake, I think it's
while
passes out of a book. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you passed out and demorphed while you were passed out. Wait a minute.
No, he was human when he was shot in the head. Which is really fucked that the Yeerks somehow don't catch on because, like, he's human during that point because he's fiddling around with the jacuzzi and he tries to morph Tiger and then gets shot in the head and falls face first while human, and that's why Marco has to scoop him up.
Well, I think they probably just killed all the controllers that were still looking at him.
And that's true. I mean, there's another thing that happens when I was reading the book that we'll discuss in 2 weeks, book 7. There's like a moment where when I was reading it, I was like, come on, kids! Haven't you heard of subtlety? Why are you doing this in front of all of these controllers? But in the early books, they fucked up a lot, as evidenced by Jake with the Roach Motel on his head.
Yeah. Also, at the end of this book, like, Jake... Oh, I forgot to mention this in the recap, but, Jake, like, part morphs into a wolf boy to, like, change his voice.
Yeah.
And then he calls Tom, and he's like, is this Tom? No, this is Tom. Who are you? Don't worry. Everything's alright, Tom.
Don't give up, Tom! I'm a sex pervert!
Yeah, he just sounds like a sex
And you know that Tom hangs up and he's like, what the fuck was that?
And the
Even
Tom
the
in
real
his
Tom.
head.
Even the real Tom
just
is like,
like,
what are you
Tom-
talking about?
Tom and the Yeerk are probably both like, holy shit, I think we're being stalked by a sex pervert.
That's when Tom
Tom
tells
and the Yeerk.
That's when Tom and the Yeerk bond, because Tom tells the Yeerk how best to avoid crank calls from sex perverts.
Yeah.
Totally.
And they like bond, and they like think they find the guy that's like stalking
And then the
Tom.
Yeerk like creepily tortures him,
Yeah.
Yeerk style.
And Tom is like, wow, this is kind of sexy. And then they Yeerk fuck.
Okay, that was actually a point that I made later, which is like, okay, let's really think about the logistics of being able to see all the memories of a Yeerk. Right? When
I don't
it's in
think
your
they're
head.
able to see all of the. I mean, there's obviously some spotty period.
Right, but I mean, like, the Yeerk proper remembers all of
Body
it.
periods.
Oh god. The Yeerk remembers all of it, right? So let's say that the human and the Yeerk are working together, so that way, like, it's a voluntary thing. So the Yeerk could share as much memories as it wants, right? Now here's my second point. The Yeerks want to eventually take over Earth and have a Yeerk in every human. However, humans will die eventually, and the only way to reproduce humans is to make them have sex with each other. Right, so here is my idea. Here's my pitch for a sub-market of Yeerk stuff where
There
the
is
Yeerks...
test tube babies. Let's not forget about test tube babies.
That's totally not a real thing. Anyways, the
Not
sub-market
a real
is...
thing at all. Not in our universe. Not where we need to tell cheap sex jokes online for views.
Here's the sub-market that you're addressing here. It's humans, not human controllers, but humans who are being sedated into being volunteers with the promise of being able to access Yeerk sex memories.
Symbiosis with the symbiote.
Right? Isn't that
Holy
perfect?
shit!
Can we just audio style all hold hands and remember this moment? Because I'm gonna bring it up when we talk about book 26, y'all.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Please remember.
okay.
Wait. Whoa! Book 26, Brayden! What happens with the Yeerk sex? What are you talking about? It's just... Book 26 is just about... He's cutting out! I need to know! Book 26, Brayden! We need to know!
Stay with us!
He's gone! Oh no, God, he's gone!
He didn't even warn us about future 9/11. What a dick!
He didn't warn us about the 11 more 9/11s!
As someone who's not in the room with you guys, that was enthralling.
Can you tell we've been to acting school?
Oh, very much so. Anyways, that's my pitch. TM. No one's allowed to steal that.
TM.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Big time TM
I'm
on
gonna
that.
start writing that right now. Post it to some hot
My God,
Phantomorphs
you
porno.
would probably get a bunch of hits because I doubt anybody has written Yeerk, human symbiosis, sex porn dungeon viewing experience.
Would a Yeerk even
360.
really have to remember it? Could he just yeah, human, I'll show you some freaky sex memories. Here's me banging 3 green alien girls, and then just imagine it?
I don't know. Can they manipulate them with stuff that's not real? Because that's not what the Yeerk and Jake's head did.
No, but also the Yeerk
But
in
they-
Jake's head was a huge pompous
Also,
asshole.
the Yeerk did show him fantasies.
He did show him
of getting
fantasies of
promoted.
oh look,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
me. All your friends are dead. Haha.
Okay, so basically, we cut out the middleman, and it's just Yeerks who watch a lot of human porn in preparation for...
Making the
imagining?
ultimate human.
What if it's just
porn.
make it easier and you get Yeerks who invest a bunch of sex workers and then we'll go into humans and be like, yeah, here's a bunch of sex workers. Here's the point of view of some hot lady who vacuumed a guy's house in lingerie and then dumped the vacuum contents on his stomach and got paid $500 for that, which is a true story I heard from a friend of mine today.
I was going to say that sounded like something that you were involved with. It was very specific.
I mean, you gotta make money somehow in this economy.
Anyway,
Jesus.
Yeah, so there's a new species called the
fucking
Geds,
new species called Ged. They're tiny little monkey men.
which they do get explained about more further, and the Yeerk-Ged relationship gets explored further in future books.
Are the Yeerks a little bit country and the Geds a little bit rock and roll?
I feel like the Geds are a lot more
spoilers,
country than
but
the
the
Yeerks.
Geds are a lot more country, and the Yeerks are pretty rock and roll. The Yeerks used to be just folk, and then someone is just yo, have you heard about rock and roll? And the Yeerks are oh, we can get on board with this rockin' and a rollin'.
Well, I'm a little bit
This is true.
country.
They also mention a few other species that I don't remember at all, but
One of them is the Skang or some shit.
No, Stern, I think it was. Ash talks about some
Stern,
alien.
with fucking 3 S's.
that's true. Yeah. There's a weird one. Let's switch gears a bit. I want to talk about Visser 3 killing his minions again.
I love it. He's so over the top.
Because when they're doing the reconnaissance mission, like, they're like, oh shit, it's Andalite bandits. Like, look at those roaches are definitely Andalites. So they try to raid them. But, like, one of the minions or something says something like, oh, it's probably just bugs. And Visser 3's like, shoot that guy.
Yeah,
and they kill him for saying that.
Yeah, no, I love it. It shows that obviously this quiet infiltration of Earth is not Visser 3's idea, because he will just kill a guy for disagreeing with him.
But how is Visser 3 still a Visser if if murder investigations are like all over the place?
Because he has an Andalite host body. That's the only reason why he's not like higher up.
That's a horrible military structure in that.
Why did they
give Visser 3 the Andalite body?
There's a story. They didn't give it to him.
No spoilers.
No, okay, they gave it to him.
Okay.
It was a present. I lied.
His uncle just
His uncle's like, I caught you an Andalite.
Oh, damn it, Uncle 8964. I wanted a hot green alien babe, so I could look in the mirror and chill myself.
I wanted a hot green alien babe with 3 boobs, and you just gave me this blue fur dork.
Yep, that's definitely not what happened. Anyways, that
exactly
will all be
happened.
revealed later.
I mean,
all will be revealed
we're not just
later.
we're not just going back to the just killing whoever thing. I think probably a lot. I mean, they all fucking obey him. I think a lot of it goes back to like we're not just looking at a entirely different culture or even an entirely different species. We're looking at one that comes from an entirely different like biome. Like we as humans are inherently social creatures. We're social hunter-gatherers. We rely on each other in a way that like the Yeerk are parasites. They don't do that. They obviously share like a common language and a culture that grew out of being the same species and having the same sets of powers, but they obviously don't need to cooperate. They obviously just care about all this other stuff. And like the idea that one person would die on the whims of a higher being is probably just super normal to them.
The thing is, first of all, I just want to say as a sidebar, I am constantly amazed how much Braden is defending this series for someone who's never read it before.
I know. It's like, I want to have these conversations later when you've read more of the books and a bit more is explained, because I love it. Like, I was sitting here just in the living room, and Braden is reading this, and he, like, gets up from his chair and says, so Jake goes to hell. He just goes to hell. He just goes to hell. And I'm like, I'm so excited to see you read this, so I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I love these conversations, and I want to have this conversation later. Like, after book 35, once we've figured it all out, and we have this information, because I have so many ideas. Oh my God.
just to finish that thought, though, what I wanted to say was that in as much as that theory makes sense as far as like, social structures versus individual structures, the thing is, like, they are inherently a social structure. Like a military structure is social by its very design. Do you see what I mean? It's not a force of commandos that are all their own bosses. Anytime you introduce a hierarchy, whether it's a government or a general and a lieutenant and a colonel, you are admitting that you want to be a social thing. So to say that like they refuse to acknowledge that an individual life might be useful to the whole, I don't know.
Powerful life.
Right, but, like, I mean, I guess the only argument could be that, like, Visser 3 is so fucking batshit insane that he's letting his instinct take over any rational thought at all.
What we've only seen of the Yeerks is that every Yeerk we've seen has been drafted into this war. Like, they're part of this huge Yeerk army. We don't know what the Yeerk homeworld is like. If there is like maybe their home planet is destroyed. Like, we don't know anything. We don't know what they do for recreation. All we've seen of Yeerks are Yeerks doing their full-time job, controlling hosts and being a part of this army in some way. So I think
maybe that's all they need. Maybe they get high off it. Like maybe
power corrupts. So that's what we learned from Visser 3. Is
just
that
eating it like the pool? Maybe do they even really need to leave the pool? Like, why do they leave a
Domination
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
They don't see in their slug form. They don't have eyesight. They can't
Yeah.
see. So that
What does that have to do with
probably-
anything?
Well, that would probably be the main reason why they would want to leave, is so that they can experience the world and not just be,
No,
like,
no,
stuck.
no. Come on now. Like that's like saying like, oh, if we, I don't know. Just because if you don't have a sense, why are you jealous of people that have the sense when you don't even know they exist? Do you know what I mean?
Well, because you can have it, I guess, is what.
But you don't
what
even
Tess is
know
saying.
because they can't see. So how could they ever know that something had eyes?
Because they
Senses,
can.
because they can at some point.
Because they can possess other
they've-
bodies.
At some point, they evolve to have the parasitic relationship with hosts, where they can possess other bodies and then suddenly see. So just imagine being able to see and touch and like Jill with your 3 green alien titties, and then you have to leave all that and go to some dark world full of squishy bodies where you
That's
have no
not-
senses.
That's not how jilling works.
Mikhail.
No, Mikhail, we're
Mikhail.
talking about female masturbation.
We're talking about female masturbation, Mikhail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 titties, jilling. Let's
Yeah.
get real.
Okay, Mikhail, as the one woman nerd on this podcast, I think you should leave this kind of gross, sexy talk to me.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable,
I'm
that's true.
looking at, like, I'm Googling jilling off with own tits right now.
Wait, with your own tits?
I mean, like, maybe the alien tits can reach to where their genitals
I see,
are.
like, 8 billion. The
billion
entire
tits.
internet is actually girls masturbating with their own breasts.
It autocorrected and it said jacking off because Google doesn't understand jilling and jacking off mean the exact same thing. Come on, Google.
Jack and Jill went up the hill.
So now that we've concluded
mutual
our
masturbation.
searching for porn cast, I want to hear any predictions. Obviously, the hell prediction is going to be part of this.
Yeah, when are they going to bring up hell again?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. I can't tell anything from these covers. The more I look at them, the more I try, the more I realize it means nothing. I can't. I
And
have
that's
nothing.
just like the animal they're going to be at some point
Yeah.
during the book.
I was just, I don't know. I expected
So in book
something
7
entirely different. Book 7, I wrote
Rachel
down my
turns into
predictions a bit earlier. It's a Rachel book. She has a purpose and ambition now. And I was wondering where it could go from there. Like, what gets in her way? And I thought, there's a stranger? What sort of stranger?
Because,
and,
for context, the book is called The Stranger, and Rachel morphs into a grizzly bear on
yes,
the cover.
Yes.
Yes.
And I just want to point out that I did make the note. I honestly don't know. Applegate just sent Jake to hell to let him know he's sending enemy soldiers to the Lake of Fire. I don't know anything about this series anymore. But I'll try. My theory for book 7 is somebody from the outside, a stranger, starts like poking into their lives more and more, and they start to theorize, oh shit, maybe this is like a controller or like some sort of alien like spying on us, and they kind of start weighing the value of like pulling the trigger on people they even suspect of being like controllers or tied to the Yeerks or like this person is possibly going to rat them out, possibly going to give them away, and they have to start saying, like, well, shit, we don't know if they are a bad guy, but do we take the risk? Is my theory
interesting.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that theory a lot. Any final thoughts?
I wonder if nothing on the cover actually meant anything, though.
Final
I
thoughts.
fucking wonder.
I like how they kind of pulled the trigger early in the Animorphs, with them having one of them be infested with book 6. Like,
Yeah,
they could have teased that for ages. And no, second Jake book ever, they just whip it out. And I really like that because that kind of like puts that fear into them more. Like, okay, we better be more fucking careful with everything because shit gets real and being a controller is no fun.
Anyways, we're going to wrap up this episode. Next week, in our bi-weekly episode of Live from the Gardens, we'll be looking at the cockroach and the tiger, I think.
Ooh.
And then the following week, we'll be talking about, well, we mentioned already, we'll be talking about Animorphs number 7, the Predator. This has been Mikhail, the host.
I've been Tessa, the expert.
And I have been Braden, the boiling, roiling pool of chocolate to pour into a mold. Treat yourself, girl! RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 8, y'all. Kim Chi had it stolen.
Kimchi, the perfection.
The perfection.
Oh my god.
The anime dream bay.
We have been Phantomorphs, the Dork Bajir Chronicles.
And sponsors of Kimchi Season 8, RuPaul's Drag Race, now on Netflix. Love you, Kimchi!
Clap back, girl.
Bye. If you're looking for more Phantomorphs content, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just search for Phantomorphs, the Dork Bajir Chronicles. Brought to you by
Collective Legacy.
a podcast network.